Okay, well the compressors are filling up. Dwayne asked me about this drill. Drill's a Porter cable. Gotta be 25 years old or close to it now. This is when Porter Cable made everything in the United States, and they were top notch. They were small, light, powerful, and durable. Okay, that's what shied me away from the Craftsman drills. Craftsman drills were always huge and big. They took a beating also, but they were always big and they always made your hands heavy. If you did a lot or you used a lot of hand tools or power tools, small, light, and durable is the way to go, especially if you do it all day long. So yeah, this thing's been through everything in back. He asked if it was a Black & Decker. No, this is a Black & Decker. This is the Rubin Black & Decker. I picked this thing up. There's an aluminum one. I picked this thing up at a swap meet, what, 4 years ago or something like that, for $4. So this is what I use. And this is a Bosch. Not my favorite brand, but that was a gift. So, like I said, I don't endorse tools by any means, but I'm just showing you what they are. I'm going to give this a shot today too. I never used this before, so we'll give it a shot. Okay, I'm done endorsing. I don't make 10 cents on my videos. If you see any money being made, it's because there's music involved, and they're stealing all my money. Ah, it's quiet. Okay, with that said, guys, we got to get working here today. Hopefully, by the end of the video, or the videos today, everything is situated like a shop, and we're working, and Junior's out here working. I stripped this whole thing down, the bottom, the inside. I stripped most of the back, not this back, but I stripped the inside here, this side here, this, everywhere you would see, including underneath, which you really don't see. I stripped it down. That all got etch primed, and then the bare metal on the side got that copper spray. Didn't like it. And that's where my problem started. Made it very hard to weld. So I think it's going to work out. I'm sure it's going to take a little tweaking, some bending, and some prying, and some poking, and some prodding to get it right. But the fact that the bolt holes are lined up, and these 4 holes are lined up, I couldn't have did too bad. I sat here and worked this piece of metal, that headlight bucket. I compared it to the other one, and I saw everywhere I thought it was still tweaked. And I sat there with something like this in my hands and straightened it and took every little crease out of it to make sure that when I put the headlight in, it goes right in. I didn't take the headlight out, so I don't know how it came out, but yeah, I'm gonna have to get the clips and basically bolt this thing on. First we're gonna slide the door back, then I'm gonna bolt this thing on, and then we gotta adjust the door to it. Okay, because I know the door's off, so I might as well adjust it to this. So I could see, because I was looking at this for some measurements, I could see this corner is back just a tad now that I'm looking at it. You see a crease in it right here. So it seems like everywhere they touched rusted really bad. So Junior's got to go back over the engine compartment because he was working on it. And we got hit with a lot of rain, and yeah. So he's got to go in there and just start DAing again. No big deal. And then we got to work on, like I said, these gaps. It's not sitting where it actually goes, but we will get this. We'll get this. I'm trying to remember if this line was lined up before. So if you go like that, the line is lined up, but the door's in a little. And that's as far over as the fender goes because it hits the cowl. So that's no big deal. I know the door's got to come out. I know how close it is. And the door actually, if I push this back, you can see it. The door actually rubbed when you opened the fender before, when you opened the door before. I used to put WD-40 in it. So you can see how wide the gap is here. So the door was definitely forward. Always was. I think I'm... Okay, we're getting there. We're down to the engine and the mini bike. And I gotta scrap that battery. So, might not sound like a lot of room, but it's a lot of room when you're in a small garage. Car can go over and can definitely go back. I made room to walk around the back. When I open up the heated ducts, when I turn on the heat, and I still got my hood sitting here. So that's as far over as I can go. I don't want to hit the latch. So, more than enough room to do what we got to do right now. Want to work on the door. Junior's going to get back in the engine compartment and sand it down again and finish that off now that we're indoors. That's it. Fully swept, good to go. Slowly getting there. Still no hinges, still no nothing. I just wanted to make sure the front was lined up, which it is. Once you lift it. Fender's not set, but I have a nice body gap, better than I had before. And this fender doesn't even have bolts laying in it, so it's off to the side. But you can see the gap is uniform. And there you go, on the front is lined up. So we're gonna be good. It was definitely eat before. So we'll do the best we can do. Working on this. Don't go by this stripe and this stripe. They're two different parts of the thing. We do have this lined up. This is sitting flush. This is minute from like here to here. Okay, and then from there down it's flush again. Got that gap a little tighter. Got that gap. Didn't have a gap here. This was touching. So, so far so good. This gap does taper a little bit at the bottom, but we'll see how it lands when it's totally done. Fender still could be tweaked a hair. Doors that it's tweaked. That's it. All the lines line up. Door opens and closes. Beautiful. So that gap is smaller. There's only so much I can do. I mean, the door was crushed, I guess. Someone pushed it out, and we're going to be pushing some more. So I'm not going to concentrate anymore on any more body lines until this door is pushed out a little bit more. And we hit it with a straight edge. See what we got. But I'm just happy the fact that the nose is square. Headlight thing worked out. The hood slid again. Like I said, the hood's not sitting on any snubbers. There's no latch. There's no hinges. So, but if the hood's going to fit in the hole, which it will be, we should be good. Before, when I put this hood on, the front edges with two different depths on one side, we can get it even on one, and across the back went from just about touching to like that wide. So I think that fender was put back on crooked, and they probably just compensated, you know, on the hood edge, because there was some work done to the edge of the hood. So this will be good when it's done. Got no screws in here, but you can see they line up. So we're good there. So that's it. I'm sure this front edge can be tweaked. So I already pushed on it, tweaked it back accidentally. I know not to push the car there anymore. So I guess we could turn Junior loose in here now. Have him start getting this wood tone off, mirrors. I gotta figure out how this comes off. I'm taking off any chrome that's not necessary on this car. That I can tell you right now. It's all disappearing. Anything that's not in good shape, that's not doesn't have to go back on. Isn't obviously those mirrors aren't going back on. These things, which I don't even know what the hell these things are, aren't going back on. That emblem probably won't go back on. Anything to neaten it up. I don't want to put the stainless back on the rocker. We're going to sand the rocker down. I'll fill in the holes. I'm going to schutz it from that body line down and paint it the color of the car. And we're going to probably go with no fender well chrome lips until we can get a fourth one. So that one is a little more damage than we expected. When we pulled it off, it actually had a bow in. So when they tightened it up, it flattened, but it just didn't look right. It never looked right, and there was a ding there. So it wasn't until we took it off the car. It doesn't even look like the wheel was fixed here on the other fender. But it wasn't until we pulled it off the car that it actually bows this way. You could see it. So, but I did get that door back. Like I said, there was no gap between the wood tone and the bottom down there, and it rubbed. I would spray WD-40 on it. I did that for 10 years. So, with that, technically, I could pull this fender back off, but I really shouldn't, because I want to do the door to the fender. But I also don't want to take it off and can't get it back to line up, but it should be good. So, the one drawback to having the fender sitting on the rocker is you can't go up and down with the fender. Because if you want that body line down, the fender actually bows out more. So if you suck that in, the top of the fender goes up. So does that body line. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, not like the wagon. I think I had an easier time fitting the wagon fenders, and I made those. So, but yeah, I think this is a pretty good, productive day, and I think it's a perfect place to stop for the evening. So, I got farther than I wanted on the body, but not as far as I wanted on the garage. We'll see how the weather is tomorrow. I'd like to get the rest of this crap out of here. So, well, let's put the scoop on. Much better. Much, much better. So,